Hello, I forgot to fix everything. Dang it. Hello. How are we doing today? Hope we're all doing well. All 12 of you. Hello, Farming Boy, Aaron, and Kean. Farming Boy, I think you came in before I actually set restream up with chat, so apologies that your name isn't on screen. Oh yeah, I did the thing, didn't I? Bear with. 10%. There we go. I left something running and I'm not sure what. Oh, I know what I left running. Downside of no audio cues. That happens. I'm doing good, Aaron. How are you? And hello, Mark Jackson. I decided I'd play something a bit different for a little bit. So we're going to do Kolonia 1990. Probably going to hate this 90s equipment before by the time we're done, but hey. How long have I been streaming for? 3 minutes and 30 seconds now. I've only just started for the day. And I'll be streaming for about 2 hours. So I think we'll start off with some ploughing, because, hey, why not? Also, I do have I should have forced ploughing on. I think I do. Game is forced ploughing. Forced ploughing is on. Hey, Dara and Alex. Sorry that I started late. I had some issues with things. Now, let's see. Do I have any crops that I don't want growing at the moment? They're barley. That's a big old field of sugar beet and I don't have any equipment for it, and that looks to be also barley. Okay. You're mega angry. Is it because it's Monday? Because, I mean, that's a good reason to be angry. What's my record for getting something stuck on a map? There we go. I think that might be a new record for fastest I've managed to get something completely jammed. Great start to the stream. I know. Perfect. You might be thinking this equipment's quite small, but this is field 54 here, and yeah, a lot of the fields are quite small, so, it's because your dad is being rough with Bert the arthritic cat. What's he doing to Bert the arthritic cat? Which sounds like the name of the world's worst TV show. Hey kids, it's time for Bert the arthritic cat. Let's learn about arthritis with our favorite cat, Bert the arthritic cat. And it's just a cat moaning about all of its pains for the next 3 hours. Reminds you of Campaign of France. I've never played Campaign of France. I do like this map though, however, nothing's bloomin' nailed down. I knocked over like 7 things while just putting things into sheds. Even though you never played it. I can't remember it, to be honest. It is a pretty tight map though, so I mean... 1 million and something? What? Oh, you're talking about the money that I've got, because I've got 422,000 euro. It's literally just because I'm still setting up. I didn't actually finish the setup before the stream. There's still a few things over at the shop. I'm still fairly confident. In fact, I know I've still got to buy 1 or 2 things. And it's just a case of... I don't want to do setup work during a stream. Campaign of France is good for an ambitious farmer. This is good for somebody who likes small, tight maps. Where you can have an excuse to use older and more kind of Eastern European equipment. Because he's on a diet, so he meows and stuff in the kitchen, he's pushing about and stuff, and on the nudge rate, more pushing. The trick... Alex, sometimes... Like, I don't know if this helps with him specifically, but I know with our cats, sometimes when they start meowing, they just want attention. So, give him a scritch. Give him scritchies. And he might be much happier and stop angering your dad, who is now angering you. You start timing equipment on Campaign of France. You start with pretty small equipment on this too, but I swapped almost all of it out because I wanted to bring in my own stuff, as I tend to do. It's like step number one on setting up any map for me is like, get rid of all equipment. She's always hungry because he's a bit of a chonko and he's dieting. That's fair enough. Good grief, this field is small, but still painful to do. Don't worry, the stream won't be me deciding to go around and plough all the fields that I don't want crops in. However, there may be a stream coming up soon where I do harvest that sugar beet, because I'm trying to figure out if I actually have something that can do it. Hey, Dalvacity. Schools are really going out with hand sanitizer and postal stuff because of the virus. Well, it makes sense, to be honest. It is... Like, you'll find that any place where a lot of people come together will have posters and sanitizers everywhere. It's just, you happen to go to school, which is where a lot of people tend to assemble, so you've noticed that it's cool. If you go to an airport, hey look, there's hand sanitizers and posters and stuff everywhere. If you go to a large train station, same thing. If you were to go to Busaurus in Dublin, same thing. It's just where people accumulate to do it, because hey, that's where people are likely to pass illnesses on. I kind of think that those posters should be up all the time saying, hey, you know washing your hands is good, right? And if you're sick, you should maybe wash your hands a bit more, because, you know, your hands might have infectious stuff on them, and, you know, you might infect other people. Also, maybe sneeze or cough in a more hygienic way. Here's a hygienic way to sneeze. Here's a hygienic way to cough. They never do that when it's just like, oh, it's cold season, everybody's just going to get the cold now. It is not a common cold, Dovacity. Word for your 2-year-old and your wife that works front and center in the ER. Yeah. But I can tell you, Dovacity, it's not a common cold. It causes viral pneumonia, so that's a bit more extreme than just like coughing and sneezing. I tried to fix Farm Sim today. I'm guessing it didn't go well, Aaron. Like, I think I spoke yesterday that it frustrates me how people are blowing it out of proportion. It also frustrates me when people try and minimize it as, oh, it's just a common cold. It's nothing that you should be, like, overly worried about day to day, unless to a certain point you're in Chad's position where you have a relative who works in a hospital or a medical clinic. where that's where the highest risk honestly is, because people get sick, they go to hospitals and doctors because they don't listen to the advice of, hey, if you have these specific symptoms, stay the hell away from people. You use the phone because that minimizes the number of people you're likely to infect with whatever the hell it is you have. And a common cold or a flu can be diagnosed pretty easily over the phone. Cars go. Oh yeah, that's. It's still broken, Aaron. That's not right. So I did have a look at the mods that came out today. There wasn't. 111 is not the number in Ireland, Kieran. It might be actually. I don't know what the number is in Ireland. That said, I'm not planning on travelling to northern Italy or generally outside all that much in the next couple of weeks, so I should be fine. Although my parents are supposed to be things might change in the meantime. Supposed to be going to Prague in like 11 days. But it's a very fluid situation. That said, and here's a bit of reassurance for Chad. 11299 for emergency. Don't clog up emergency lines if you suspect you have coronavirus. There's probably like a dedicated line for it. I just don't know the number. One thing for Chad that'll be a reassurance is every person who goes into any sort of medical or scientific field, whether it's nursing or lab science, is taught how to do infection control. So, you know, it's relatively safe. In Ireland, if you get the coronavirus, you call... That doesn't sound right there. That's an emergency line. That's not... I doubt that's what you do. Did you remember the midterm? You had a big mass today, so you had to stay home just in case? Ah. Your teacher should be, like, not in school for 2 weeks if they suspect that there's a risk. So the bus, you have to call the emergency. No, that's dumb. That's incredibly dumb. What coincidence the beer and the virus have almost the same name? It is a coincidence, like 100%. But the virus is now called COVID-19 to prevent it being mixed up with Corona beer. Oh, that didn't go well. Oops. You came on here to escape the world? I'm sorry, Chad. This is what happens when you get a science man who does YouTube. And who's actively working on a video about COVID-19. Can I... How do you... No. Let's plant some soybeans. Also, not that, this. Also, turn off the indicator. Also, turn off the lights. I pressed every button that was wrong. Shouting match over. What's my science channel going to be called? I have said this many, many times, Aaron. I'm not giving out the name until it's active. just because I don't want to promote something that is literally nothing right now. I totally could, you know, be that guy and promote a channel that has nothing on it yet. But it's still a little bit out. I'm after starting work on scripts, or on the first script to, I guess yesterday. I kind of started. No, it was the day before, and yesterday I took off because I was watching Revolution Ascend. But today I got a bit more done. I'll do some more after the stream. And then I'll find somebody to proof it for me to see if it makes sense to somebody who doesn't have, who doesn't know much about science. And then if they're happy with it, then I'll start recording. Hello, simulate the gaming. If they're happy with it, then I'll start recording a VO and getting the actual video together. Because the intention of it is to like explain stuff to people who don't know, who don't have a degree in science, effectively. Any idea why this thing is so deadly, or seemingly so in Iran compared to other countries? Yes. In Iran, they have openly... Iran is dumb. And what they have done in Iran is they've claimed, because there was an election they wanted a high turnout at, for political reasons, they claimed coronavirus was propaganda and didn't actually exist. So they took zero measures to contain it, and it got so bad that their Minister for Health got it, and I think he died from it. Hey, Tiernan. Because it is a relatively severe condition, but it's manageable if... It's manageable in the more extreme cases. About... The problem is there's nobody actually knows how many actual cases of COVID-19 there have been, because some of them can be really, really mild, and people can get it mixed up with just a cold or a flu. So there's kind of the thought that maybe about half of the cases are super mild. Could a person with a healthy immune system be affected by it? Anybody can catch it. Anybody can get it. But a person with a healthy immune system, odds are they will be relatively okay. Like, they'll be ill for a couple of weeks. About two weeks, roughly, on average. It's just, no, Tiernan, it's not a flu. Could it be lethal? Minimal chance of that, Foxtrot. COVID-19 is not a flu. It bears literally zero resemblance to the flu. Not least because it's from a completely different type of virus. But genetically there is zero resemblance. It's completely different. Acts differently as well. In a healthy person, it's like a bad flu, is what the effects are in a mild case, but in severe cases it's a hell of a lot worse. Why did that happen there? Anyway, can we, like, not talk about COVID-19? For my sake, because it's driving me mental having to tell people that no, it's not a flu. And it's probably not helping Chad either, talking about it so much. Had been tinkered with? No. Thanks, SG. Yeah, let's make with the on-moving. Now's a good time to, you know, do a bit of moving towards a different topic altogether. I don't know if it's on console, Chad. I hope it is, because it's a really nice... Like, it is very small. It is a very small map. So little is a very good descriptor of it. Lovely weather, isn't it? I don't know, it was sideways... Like, what seemed to be a mixture of sleet, hail, and snow all at once. And rain all at once earlier. And the wind was so strong it was blowing sideways. So, I don't know if it's just PC only. Oh, that kind of sucks. I'm sorry I'm playing a PC only map. Actually, the field will need lines, so let's grab this. Welcome back to Vacity. It's my favorite food, spag ball. It's either spag ball or like something redonkulously spicy. Can I get... Oh, I can't get lime from that. Is there... No, is there a lime thing anywhere nearby? It's impossible to tell. It looks like there is. Where is that? Anybody who has this map already, feel free to help. Maybe some custom stuff that doesn't let on console. Yeah, I think the fact that it has... Oh god, that better not be the lime thing there. Because if it is, I've blocked it forever. Oh, that's... Oh. It's in the seed one. Thank you, Tune. You've booked an airline pilot experience in a full 737 simulator. Very nice. Let me know how you get on with that, SG. I'm curious. I'll be curious. Ah! Thank you, Tiernan. This is much appreciated. Also, yes, basically everything I have is tiny. For anybody who might be wondering. Can I please use the new DLC on this map? No. I don't think the new DLC would physically fit in the shop. Salt spreader missing from this power pack? I don't know. Also, as far as I can tell, and by as far as I can tell, I mean, I literally checked the XML for this map. This map doesn't have seasons on PC, so that's why I'm not using seasons. If it had seasons, I would be using it. I may regret having that Bombay Bad Boy pot noodle later on, actually. New map, Frederick? New to... Well, it is new. It came out a couple of days ago on PC. And I... Or like towards the end of last week, and I kind of instantly was like, yes, I need to play this. But I do have plans for the Burgo DLC. They are very me plans. We're still playing Shamrock. Yeah, I'm just going to be alternating now. So Monday and Thursdays will be... Oh, that works out really well. Mondays and Thursdays will be this map. Tuesdays and Fridays will be Shamrock. That's why I've never seen it. I really like it. The fields are insane. They're at times illogical, but I really like the map. Any pre-order bonuses for the goal? I don't think so. As far as I'm aware, no. You got a big paper cut from a King Pot noodle yesterday? Yeah, I only have King Pot noodles now for some reasons. The reason of my mother only buys King Pot noodles, and I'm completely fine with that. Also, what do you guys think of the sprayer? This, I think, is on the server, but Yanis wasn't very impressed because it... Oh no. Has that done what I think it's done? Can I have solved the problem. Oh god. I have solved the issue. Osina has like an amazing vibe. There we don't go. Right. Dear Poles, please stop being collisions. The bigger the better. Oh, I know why it's not letting me fertilize, except for there. Okay. I was gonna be very confused, but then I realized something happened. Why is it not getting rid of the line? May or may not have had a crop in it before I started setting up. Right. Is there a field that we own that we can actually work right now? Growth. Ready to harvest is field 68, which is in... corn. That's... How can that be both convenient and inconvenient? Oh god, it's really inconvenient. Right. This is our harvester. This is what you get on the map by default, and I approve, so I didn't change it. You haven't yet figured out how to get into field 47. Why are you trying to figure out how to get into field 47? How's Andy getting on with the job? He seems to be enjoying it. He's not been complaining, so I mean, there's that. So, I've got to go down to the shop to pick up a header to do the corn. So just bear with. And yeah, field, what was it, 54. The reason that it derped like that was because it originally had cotton in, and I thought, no, that's not, no. And I drove into the field and forgot that I had crop destruction on, which is why only that small bit had the thing. You gotta make this combine a piece of art. You can't recolor the combine, Frederick. Just realized what you meant by a piece of art. No, that's not the plan. I think Alex is busy having an argument with his dad about the fat arthritic cat. By the way, I will have the golf cart on this map too. Also, I feel like I'm being very true to the map with the equipment I've chosen. Like, I feel like it's authentic to the area. Also, the music, because it feels like it's. Yeah, kind of extreme. Hey, Matt. Why are you over a cat? Because the cat's on a diet due to arthritis and various other things, and his dad is apparently, like, doing nasties to the cat, and he's not impressed, so arguments. I keep forgetting that chop straw is just default in 19 because I was like, I didn't install the chop straw. No, I didn't have to. You didn't have to, Dave. It's just there now. You couldn't as close as possible from the model. Pretty much. I mean, I did have a small mower, but it looked terrible. Like, I was gonna have this, but it's very not. It's just not right. Because it didn't look right on anything. Too small? I don't think that was too small. It's bigger than you think. I know in the shop you got no frame of reference, but it is like a couple of meters wide. Wish there was an Eva. Oh my god, a Neva, yes. I want a Neva. Give me Neva. Didn't think I was on today. I was running very late, Jim Bob. I started setup at like 3:30, and it took a hell of a lot longer than I anticipated. So, and then I needed to do a couple of things downstairs as well, so it kind of all piled on, resulting in me being late. So I do apologize for that. Can I fly A321 on Wednesday? Maybe. I've not actually even looked into what I could fly Wednesday. I'm hoping to get the Embraers out again at some point soon. Like one of the Embraers, because they got an update and I really like it. By the way, you don't start off with all this land, you only start off with one field on this map, which I thought was just not enough, so I bought a big tract of land. I spent a couple $100 grand on just buying chunks of land that the map would be a bit more playable for YouTube instead of me just babying one field constantly. And the only field you start with is field 74, which you might notice is quite a distance from the main yard. Well, the yard that I'm using is the main yard. I think the main yard might actually be over by field 74. Hitachi excavator on console. Ooh, they put that on they got that license on console? That's kind of impressive. Don't know if your partner's planning anything as a surprise. Matt, don't be like Pep. Don't be worried if you can't make it to a stream because you got like some family stuff or whatever going on. You know the VODs are there if you want to catch up. Like if you miss a stream and you want to watch it, especially with the flight sim streams, if it's a plane you want to see get set up, you know, I do it pretty quick. Which ones do I have? I've got the SSGs, which are less memey than they used to be, but still kind of questionable at times. But they seem to behave a bit more. It's a Fiat Hitachi, so it works for console. Okay. Especially since your 30th. Oh god, that's coming up next year for me. Oh, I feel old now. Well, I still get to be a 20-something for another year and a bit. Year and a half. Almost exactly. Slightly less. All downhill from there, you're 45. It's not the age that your passport says you are, it's the age that your mentality says you are, and I'm at least 6. Let's use this. Where did I put the trailer now is the issue. Oh, I remember, I parked it up out here. Should be right there, yes. Steve, don't play that game, seriously. I've already had to ask the stream to stop talking about it. Didn't want an existential crisis at this point of the evening. It's good to have at least one a day. Get out of the way. No, Foxtrot, I mean, I might be 6.5. Maybe even 7. Not a fan of the mud mod style giant plumes that get kicked up occasionally. You can have it unbranded as well. Well, the fact that you can have it branded means that they do have a license of some description. Because you can't just, like, unbrand it. You can't just have an unbranded version available and then say, oh, because there's an unbranded version too, it means that it's definitely not Hitachi, even though it says it's a Hitachi. Send me a PM regarding if you're looking at the right planes. I will have a look after the stream, SG. When I'm doing my cooldown stuff, I'll have a look then. That'll be triple for the H612 Lego sets. A New Holland had a Ford skin? Yeah, but that kind of skirted around because I don't think Giants actually checked that. I reckon, yeah, I'm kind of with Xander there. I think it's down to the Fiat license. They they got the New Holland on console that you could put a Ford sticker on, because somehow Giants completely missed that you could put a Ford sticker on it in game, and that's how they got around that. And nobody complained, so well, somebody did, which is how I know the Giants didn't actually notice the Ford sticker, but nobody at Ford complained, so they just kind of left it there. Chicken chips and stuffing. I am having spag bol for dinner today, which is delicious. Although I'm a bit sad because it's going to be... This is going to sound weird. It's going to be a bland spag bol, not like a hyper spicy one. My mother makes really spicy spag bols when my sister's away. But she's here today, so it means slightly blander spag bol, which makes it sad. It's still going to be delicious, though. And I've started a campaign of trying to get my mother to make chili con carne again. Pasta with tomato sauce and ground beef. I mean, that's technically spag bol, kind of. New Holland did the same shape model. I mean, yeah, the New Holland 40s are just the Ford 40s with new stickers. Never put some spice in mine. Oh, she does, but when she does it for like me, my dad, and herself, she goes ham because she can just keep adding and it cooks in. Whereas when she's doing it with my sister, she just kind of dumps it in at the end and it doesn't have time to cook in, so it doesn't get as spicy. White case and white David Brown is the same tractor. Maybe that's the reason? That could be it. Sign a petition. No, I'm just gonna keep bringing it up to her. I'm just gonna keep mentioning it, just like, hey, chili con carne would be really nice. Hey, do you know what would be really nice is chili? Delicious, delicious chili. Although I'm not gonna challenge her to make it spicy, because she doesn't... You don't challenge my mother to make something spicy. You just don't. She knows how to spice things. So if you challenge her, she's going to go... She's gonna go to, like, turn it up to 15 out of 5 on the spice levels. Did Balti last night? I've never had Balti. Hey, Chunky Tanker. And Fabio, hello. You know, with ghost peppers in it? She doesn't need to add ghost peppers. But suffice it to say, she once was challenged by a man in the middle of winter, and he left having taken off his heavy jacket, jumper, and shirt. He left wearing his vest and covered in sweat. How much spicy? Yes, that's pretty much my mother in a nutshell if you challenge her. How much spicy? All of it. You will get nothing but spice and heat. Didn't help that he challenged her to do it with a chili con carne. Because he said, kind of, as she tells the story, he was a bit arrogant about the amount of spice he could take, so she decided to show him what happens when you get a bit arrogant in her presence. And he was humbled by that chili con carne. As far as I can remember, she ate the exact same con carne and she was fine. You bombed by a bad boy pot noodle in the cupboard, you forgot about it. I had one for lunch. They're delicious. Hey Richard, how's it going, dude? Challenge accepted. Yeah, just... Red chili powders can't make spicy pasta. Well, grind up some chilies. Hey CD, how's it going, dude? I feel like this is the harvester I want to use the most in Farm Sim, but get to use the least because it's so hideously tiny for 90% of maps. Curry pot noodle, extra curry pot. What I tend to do, Steve, is I make what I call ultra noodles. Or either ultra or hyper noodles, depending on how over the top I go. Is I get a packet of super noodles, or whatever equivalent you want. Usually like curry, just because it starts off at a base level. Then I add basically whatever I find in the spice cupboard. I believe I had one once that was chili powder, garlic salt of some description. Actually 2 or 3 different types of chili powder. Some paprika, some pepper, some salt. Some Worcestershire sauce, because why the hell not at that point. And yeah, I couldn't eat it because it made it too much, and the Worcestershire sauce kind of ruined it. Sunny but cold? Yeah, it's very cold here. I'm literally wearing shoes, which I don't do. Usually I wear like... This will annoy some people, socks and sandals. Or socks and slippers, but today, no, I've put on some shoes because my feet tend to... like, I need them. It is too cold, and I can't be bothered turning on my heater yet. Have all the sheds on Shamrock a snow mask? They should, Christopher. I ran around and tested everything I could see. I might have missed one or two, but the vast majority of them should have snow masks. Do I speak Polish? No. The only language I can speak, and that even then it's... Oh god, the traffic's... Let's just ignore that. The only language I speak is English, and even then it's not particularly good. Hail a lot in Cornwall. Yeah, there was just a weird shower earlier. Where it was like hail, snow, rain, and sleet all at once. I should maybe open this gate too, or this door. I don't speak Polish, but I love Polish maps, because they are for me just the epitome of what a good map is. Okay. Can I... What button is it? There we go. Probably easier if I open up that gate and just drive out the front or the back. Like a Dessau, and then turn like a Dessau, and then drive off like a Dessau. I can speak a bit of Irish, but nobody really knows Irish, including me. So it'd be kind of pointless me starting to spout Irish. Even though it is Seacht na Gaeilge. Which lasts for 16 days. Actually 17 days, because it's the 1st to the 17th. So Seacht na Gaeilge is basically Irish Week. Irish Language Week. And in true Irish fashion, it's a week that lasts for nearly 3 weeks. I am Irish. Yes, that doesn't mean I know how to speak the Irish language. We're forced to learn it in school, and basically everybody forgets because repressed memories. Also, lack of use. 2019 farming, hello! How's it going? Also, my headphones keep hitting like the side of my jumper, and it's getting really annoying. It's Irish Week, the 2 weeks before Paddy's Day. Yeah, Irish Language Week, where our week lasts about the same as when somebody says he'll do it in 5 minutes. 3 weeks. Excuse me, what? Hello, I am here from the Calendar Commission. I would just like to point out how long a week is. Yeah, we know, 16 days. No, yes, no, yes. No, it's really not, yes. But it's really, yes it is. It is 16 days long. And a month is 372. Do you want to know how long a year is in Ireland? It's 1 year, 2 years, 36 months. Oh, clearly, a month, sorry, a year is 7,986 months. One eternity later. Also, has YouTube changed their emojis? Because they look horrific now. Have YouTube changed their bloody emoji? Could somebody just put in Kappa with a capital K on YouTube, please? I'm curious, because their Kappa was disturbingly terrible before. Not even sure if it's gonna work. Because I stole the Twitch idea of having a Kappa emoji. Oh my god, YouTube got rid of Kappa. Kappa? YouTube legit got rid of Kappa. That emoji looks very different on YouTube to what Restream Chat's saying. Well, don't use capital. That looks terrible. That looks... I can't say what it looks like on stream. I'm going to open up Discord real quick on my phone and just pop it in to the admin room. Come on, let me into the thing. And then down here, it looks a bit... There we go, it's an admin room now for the admins to have a look at. Hey, what's got? Pole there? I mean, we are in Poland, so there tends to be a lot of poles. At least I believe this is a Polish map. There's a pole there too, look, driving the truck. There's another pole driving the car. Put my phone up there. This combine, like, fills a lot slower than I remember it. Then again, this is probably corn on least yieldy possible. So I guess it makes sense that this is not filling very quickly at all, because this is minimum yield corn. Looks like what in my end? I put it in admin chat. It does though. Yeah, corn is very low yield anyway, so having low yield corn, which is a low yield crop, doesn't help. Wait, hang on. I'm gonna get a screenshot of this for Yanis. Because he might have a different one. Like... There we go. And now simulate. How long before I get big combine? Yeah, Farming 2019 knows what's up. Sam, did you watch that video I sent you this morning? It was this morning on Facebook. Because the mad lad only went and did it. Also, for anybody who doesn't know who's a wrestling fan, Matt Hardy has left the WWE again. He let his contract expire. It expired at midnight last night, so he is now a free agent. His throne is different to yours. It's a very interesting looking bit of dead wood. In other related news, AEW has been teasing the Exalted One again. Something about sitting on dead wood. Strange coincidence, I guess. Which either, like, at this point, if it's not Matt Hardy, I'm going to be very upset. Like, if the Exalted One is anybody but Matt Hardy, I will actually be very upset. Also, Sim, your money on... Who's Harper? Do you mean Brody Lee? Who's Harper? It could just as easily be Brody Lee. But look, I think Matt would be so much better in that position. Because he could do creative for them. That said, if they have both Matt and Brody, that would be an insane pair of signings for them. But let's face it, whoever signs Matt Hardy's making money. Like, no matter how much they pay him, they're going to make money off him. Because he's very openly said, I want to do my broken gimmick again, but different, and probably better. And I've learned from the mistakes I made in my mind with the broken gimmick. So, anybody want to give me, like, a little bit of money and I can make you lots? All I require is creative control, and you will get lots of money from me. We should have watched the buy-in. What happened on the buy-in? I mean, we could watch the buy-in tonight, after the stream, assuming you're not working. Because that's only like an hour. Just like I said yesterday, I don't care what the results are, whether or not I know them. Christopher Daniels is the whole, it was me all along. To be fair, Christopher Daniels has been pretending to be, like, it's supposed to be... I wonder if that was a joke, because, like, they're still teasing the Exalted One, which they wouldn't be doing if it was Christopher Daniels. Also, if people are here thinking, oh, Dave's gonna get a bigger combine in like a week, no, I'm quite happy using this tiny little bugger. I love it. Unless there's like a Neva. Neva changes the rules. Neva is Neva. I need my Neva. I'm still upset that there isn't one on the mod hub. If somebody wants to make a Neva combine, use it a lot. Oh, come on, internet, be nice. There we go, it's coming back now. Rip, slight rip. OBS did the thing again. It should be back now. No, you will never get a bigger combine. Yes, Neva. Neva is exception to the rule. Neva is exception to my rule of I'm not really I'm like, if I find one that's really nice in Soviet, isn't the portrait that doesn't seem to work, or that didn't work on the server at least, then I might get one that's bigger than this, but I want to use something that looks kind of raggedy and old, and is small, but inappropriately small, I guess. I could use the Class Mega, I guess. You're all set for Dublin, just need flights. I'm still undecided if I want to go to Dublin to say hello to you. When you're over. Alright, it seems living in nowhere. Excuse me, Simulate. I live an hour from the nearest airport, Mr. Sir. And any flights to, like, good places are from Dublin, which is, like, two hours away by car. Actually, come to think of it, Sim, are you going to be up there on, like, a Friday or something? Because I could, in theory, get to Dublin on a Friday for free, and quite easily. A Friday or a Monday, I can get to Dublin, zero issues. Your drive to the airport's going to be 4 hours. Oh, fun. Yeah, I can get to Dublin with relative ease. Steve, he might not be going from the nearest airport. Even though that would be the most logical thing to do. He's going over to Dublin with some friends to do something. Or to see something more appropriately. Yeah. We have banned virus talk because it makes me angry when people get things wrong about it. So we better off driving to Dublin. No, he looked that up too, Xander. That would take 7 hours. He looked up getting the bus to Dublin. And that would take in excess of 7 hours. Just want to meet them in Birmingham. Silly question. Would you not be better off flying to Birmingham and then, like, getting a connecting flight to Dublin? Is it a stag party? No, he's going to see wrestling. That was a flight? Oh my god. I thought it was a bus. 7 hours sounded about right from where you are to Dublin. Because it'd take like 3 or 4, maybe 5 to Holyhead. Then the ferry itself would be like an hour or so to Dunleary, and Dunleary's just down, like, it's maybe a half-hour drive from Dublin, from Busaras. So it kind of made sense. In fact, you couldn't stop in Busaras because that's all bus air, and yeah. I don't know where a bus to Dublin would stop. Cardiff is 3 hours from you. Okay, so yeah, most of it would be trying to... Okay, never mind. Remember, I'm terrible at geography and working at times. I only know times of things from doing it myself. I know that driving to Sunderland from my house takes about 12 hours in total. Steve, he legitimately asked me if I could get a pilot's license to fly him to Dublin. At which point I pointed out that just getting a PPL would cost me about 10 grand. And that's before buying avgas and renting a plane. Although I would love to have a PPL at some point. Agro, I'm afraid I don't speak Polish, which I'm guessing is what you were asking. When's the next X-Plane stream? It'll be a Wednesday, and I haven't figured out what plane I want to use. I've got three that I'd like. Two of them are Embers, one's the A321. I'd actually be kind of happy flying the 737 again, or if I can find something that does it, I could kind of shoehorn a... Well, no, it wouldn't work at the moment. Yeah, I'm looking into doing the Embers. I might do something a bit sillier. But it really depends on what the carriers in the region fly. I should be a real pilot. I would love to be, if it was, like, easy. The problem is, to be a real pilot in a real airline, it costs in excess of 70,000 euros just for the license. I did get a quote from a flight school to do an integrated ATPL, and that was 78,000 euro. For an integrated ATPL and ATR 72 type rating, which would be awesome because an ATR 72 is a turboprop, but I don't have that kind of money, unfortunately. What have you missed? Us derping about and me banning all talk of COVID-19 from the streams. See you 2019 farming. Enjoy the rest of your day, dude. Yeah, I've banned all talk of COVID-19 because there are so many misconceptions that I'd prefer to deal with in a video on the other channel, maybe. I was kind of half thinking about that earlier. I'm now more thinking about that, which would delay the planned video I have, but it would get the channel going a small bit faster. But the experience I have about flying, wouldn't the company pay for it? Then you have a contract with them for so long? No. No, that's not how it works, Steve. How it works is you get an ATPL, a full-on, I can't remember what the A stands for, a full-on advanced, like, commercial pilot's license. And then you start applying for companies saying, hey, I've got a pilot's license and, like, 0 flight hours. Are you looking for any brand new pilots? They put their own pilots through for type ratings only, Jim Bob. Hey, Soteria. So the way big airlines do it is, like, you need to have... You need to pay, you need to at the very least pay for your own flying lessons. Sometimes with the bigger ones you can apply without a license and do what's called the integrated course, and you know, you'll still need to do it. So in the UK, as long as you pass and BA together your wages bit by bit. Yeah, like I'd genuinely love to do it, but it's an expense that I just can't justify. Excuse me, what? This was full 2 seconds ago, what the hell? Also, I enjoy how derpily tiny this trailer is. Is this trailer now actually full? Yes, 9,000 litres. It's an idea. I know that it was just a suggestion, but like there's a very good reason why it's a no from me. As nice as it'd be. Plus, honestly, my procedures that I use are terrible. Like, the procedures I use during the X-Plane streams are atrocious. If I were to do full procedures, I might do it someday, and run through all the checklists in, like, Zebo, you would see that it takes probably 3 times as long just to get the plane started, and then it's more checklists. Tears working in LD pay for it. No, it won't. 2 years working in LD will probably pay for, like, the deposit. Excuse me, I want to do the unloading bit, please. Thank you. Wait, no. Don't care which way these tip as long as they tip. Did we started a new farmer, by the way? So we should have, yeah, we've got literally some crops in storage. In any case, as much as I'd love to be a pilot, I don't know if I'd have the right mentality for it. Because you guys know how often I get flustered, and that's not something that's good for a pilot. And how often I forget things. That's field 68 done. Do we have any other fields that are ready to harvest at all? Because I don't want to do the same shenanigans with field 68 as I just did with field 54. 71? No, that's fruit types. No, we actually don't. I only buy the best fields that are not ready to harvest. That's how you just bulk buy a section of the map, so I'm not entirely surprised. Did I remember to put courseplay on? No, I didn't. Ah. Right. I do have a backup plan for ploughing, but I don't know if the Ursus can deal with it. Say we're going for a loop-de-loop. I mean, my dad was once on a flight where the pre-flight announcement was, today we're going to be flying very high and as fast as we possibly can. I think that pilot was a tad bit flustered that day. There are also situations where pilots doing pre-flight checks on the plane got confused by the bottom side, or the underneath of the plane being painted two different colours. And you know, other strange situations. Right, this tractor is how many horsepowers? 75 entire horsepowers. And the plough that is my backup plan requires 100 horsepowers. Okay, that won't work. Do I have a subsoiler that might work? 150 horsepowers. I mean, I could try that. It can be used instead of a plough. We can... Do I have one of those? No. We can try it behind the Ursus. Be a better pilot than most Rhiners. Most Rhiners pilots are very highly trained, and the I've said this before on flight sim streams. Ryanair's harder landings than you would get on like KLM or France or whatever. They're intentional. They bleed off a lot of the energy that the plane had flying. It's not like Ryanair pilots can't fly. No, Ryanair pilots are very good pilots. It's just the SOPs like basically require them to do what the passengers usually describe as uncomfortable or hard landings, when in fact they're perfectly fine landings, just within the landing zone, just a bit higher G than the passengers would like. Hey, Mary SK. That's the problem. That's what happens with Ryanair's. Their SOPs are basically, yeah, get the plane down at all costs within the landing zone, which is the same SOP as all airlines. It's just Ryanair. No cultivator. Okay. I don't know if this will work, but it's worth a try. If not, I have a backup plan to the backup plan. Let's see if my backup plan works. Because I'm not using the offset plow for this entire field. It's still going to take a while, but... Okay. Here we go. This Ursus doesn't care. It's got literally half the horsepower requirement of this machine. This piece of equipment. And it just doesn't care. It might care in a second because we're about to go uphill. No, it doesn't particularly care. This is what happens when you have many torques. That is... I'm just going to stop up here. That is ploughing the field, correct? Correct? That is ploughing the field. Ursus pulls it like it's nothing. It really does, and... Like, the shop did say it needs 150 horse. This Ursus is literally half that. It's just like, yeah, he's fine, they pull. I do not care. Need more strength? I'll just make more strength. I poop strength. I'm Ursus, to power. Make work. We make it work. Do not care. It's just... I don't understand this. I'm fine with it, but it makes no sense. It's at least 75 horsepower. No, the subsoiler required 150. And this is the 904, there's no options. Like, let me show you. Ursus 904. There's no engine options on this. It's straight up 75 horsepower. It's producing all of the torque in the world. Hey, Stephen. And see, Dara, enjoy hurling and football training. How's it going? It's going pretty good. We're using an impossible Ursus. This is this Cultiplow that we're using, subsoiler, whatever you want to call it, requires 150 horsepower. This Ursus produces 75, which is exactly half the requirement. Do you think the Ursus cares? If your answer is yes, now you're wrong. You're very wrong. Ursus cares not for your simple math logic or power requirements. Ursus will work, and that is what Ursus will do. Maybe it's producing 75 horsepower per wheel. And it secretly has 4 75 horsepower engines or something. I don't know. I don't understand this. This makes no sense to me. Ah, more tea. Ursus is 75 horsepower. Maybe less, maybe more. Number is for show. We don't actually know. No, number is there because it is required. We have no idea. Government say give number. It says 75. Do you think I know actual number? No. Government said yes, that is number. That shall do. Nothing can be more Soviet than the Ursus with a completely fictional number of horsepower. It makes 75 horsepower at some point, maybe. Maybe it idles at 75 horsepower. Maybe that's what's going on. $34 watching? Restream saying 39. But then again, the restream number has been known to just straight up lie to me. Oh, restream and it's lying. Also, look at my hand. It is ghostly white. No, seriously, it's just that it's closer to the light. So I turn off the light. The webcam should actually turn basically black here. Hang on. Boom. Yeah. This is what it looks like without the light on, and it actually, that's kind of okay. I'm kind of okay with it being a bit darker, so I might leave the light off and just use that for doing work in future. It's perfect for writing with. Restream is Soviet, number optional. Maybe it's Chinese. Thought I had red fingernails and no, they're very, very pink. My hands are actually... Oh, that's a bit blue. Okay, maybe I do need to turn on my heater at some point soon. Or put on gloves. I might just put on gloves. That would be an easier solution. It was the light? The light is Soviet, it lies to you. All Soviet things make things up. But don't worry, it's only at 3 Rontgen. A little bit high, but no matter. How cold is my room that I need gloves? So yeah, it's a fun fact. My room has like double glazing-ish, but the problem with it is that the seals have completely failed. So in the winter, it lets in all of the cold, and in the summer, it lets in all of the hot. And in the winter, it doesn't leave any, it leaves all of the hot out. In the summer, it keeps all of the hot in. It is very annoying, and I hate it. So my room, the temperature of it depends entirely on how hot it is outside. Hence why you might notice that I have been wearing a quite... You might not have noticed this. This jumper is quite heavy and it's very fleecy. The jacket I'm wearing. That's basically to keep myself warm. 3.6. Not great, not terrible. I forgot the actual number and I was going to say 3.14. Welcome back, Alex. You be clean filming the whole window? No, I just put on more clothes, Steve. Or like put something... Ooh, I might just put a throw over my legs if I can find it. I have like a throw blanket, but I can't remember where I put it. Hello, Panagiatis Gamer, whose name I've probably butchered, and if I did, I apologize. Tell me how to pronounce it, and I will try it better next time. It doesn't help that in Restream chat, it looks like your name is Panaglottis, which I can't pronounce because it looks more Latin. Bright side, my room is gear flow. That is an upside, yes. Do I have double glazing? In theory, yes. In practice, no, because the seals failed. They failed many years ago. So I just run on the practice of more clothes good in the winter. Layers. Many layers. And then periodically going downstairs and making more tea. Which, by the way, is why part of the reason why I have the Thermos Basque back. Here's your problem. I mean, yeah, it's fine because in the summer I just open my window. In the winter I keep it closed. Though the breeze does get annoying at times. If it's particularly windy, there is a legitimate breeze in my room, and it's kind of annoying. It's called the Holy Double Glazing. It's called double glazing from many, many years ago. I'm not entirely sure it is even double glazed. It might be a very thick single pane. But either way, the seals are broken, so it's not very good. Also, my room has a habit of being like very humid, so yeah. Construction foam. I mean, I would, but we've been planning the last few years. Every year I get told the same thing. Oh, we're getting new windows this year. Oh, we're getting new windows this year. Oh, we're getting new windows. Oh, we're getting new window. Oh, we're getting new windows this year. The second fire and I won't linger too long. That is true. It definitely won't, because I do have a neutral air freshener in my room as well. Wow, the beat to this song sounds like the intro to Ra Ra Rasputin. You mean expanding foam? I think you might actually mean like caulk? Or sealant latex? Also, a secondary issue is the house has basically zero insulation, so like the entire house is cold in the winter. Hence heaters hence like I have a heater in my room behind me. There's a heater in the hall that only gets turned on in the dead of winter, and we light a fire basically daily. How early we light it depends on how cold it is. But I'm just used to it. Like, is it uncomfortable at times? Yes. Is it? Could it be better? Yes. Do I care? Not really. I can just throw a jacket or something over my legs and I'll be fine. I'm not going to freeze to death indoors. Hell, if it's particularly cold, I can just wear 2 pairs of socks. I've heard of Rocksmith, yes. You can get sealing tape. I'm kind of okay with the airflow, to be honest. Hey, Dara. I'm doing pretty good, how are you? This Ursus confuses me on several levels. There's £5,803 and 11 pence worth of DLC and songs. Yikes. It's not as bad as Train Simulator, which, as far as I'm aware, has about 11,000 euros worth of DLC. I figured it out one day, and it's about 11 grand to get all of the DLC for Train Simulator, which is a bit much. Train Sim beats that. I know, that's what I've been saying. Train Simulator is like 11 grand in DLC. £6,000? Is that what that doesn't make... That doesn't work out. Yeah, Train Sim is insane for DLC, but I see Train Sim as a glorified train set, so it's kind of fine. It was 10 degrees and the outside temp was minus 23. Well, I don't have a thermometer in here, so I don't know how actual cold it is. This came through after I said, yeah. It might be like 13 degrees in here, but it feels a lot colder. There have been nights, however, when I've been able to see my breath in my room, which is decidedly not good. And I'm not kidding about that. It has been so cold in here that my breath has been visible. It's not that cold today, at least. 12 quid for locos, almost 30 for roots. I mean, that's Dovetail's MO, Alex. In the nicest possible way, that's the way that they work. Is they sell you like a shell and then you have to buy basically everything else. Hey, Doggerlon. Or Doggerlon? Dogerlone. I don't know how to pronounce that. Doggerlon. I guess is probably the closest. Dog Lion, there we go. Destination anywhere just cold, yeah. But it's great in the summer, isn't it, David Brown? Because like it's just warm. Because everything just absorbs the heat. So like you might notice during the summer when it's particularly hot that you'll probably hear some background noise. You might not now actually because I've changed how my mic is set up. But you might hear some background noise during the summer, and that's literally me with the window open, desperately trying to keep cool. And if it gets particularly bad, the webcam will be switched off, and you might hear a fan. What can I say about this Polish map? Yeah, winters. Yeah, that's the downside. It's a very nice map. There's some changes that I would personally make if, like, I were to edit it. I'd actually make some of the stuff that is dynamic not dynamic. For example, I'll show you one thing in particular that I don't like. I get why he's done it, but I don't like it. As I fix this up. Well, yeah. Second thing is I'd make the cones not float. Yeah, this is dynamic. So if I grab, now open the doors. If I grab this, you'll see what I mean by dynamic in a second, by the way. If I grab this and just ram it, see how it moves? I don't think that it should. That's a change that I make. Other than that, like, from what I've seen, it's a very good map, very nice detailing. It's maybe not for somebody who doesn't like tight maps, doesn't like challenging maps, or doesn't like small fields. Because it is a very small map, the fields are very small, and there's a lot of them. There's what, 74 fields, 76 fields I make on a map this small, so if you're not a fan of small fields, this is not a map for you. This is a map you should avoid at all costs. If, like me, you like smaller equipment, you like having an excuse to use it. See, Alex. If you like smaller equipment and you like having an excuse to use, and you particularly like the weirdness that a lot of Eastern European equipment brings, then it is a brilliant map. And I always kind of try and find at least once during a farm sim game, and I'm doing it twice at the moment, between this and Asina and the multiplayer server. I always try and find an excuse to run a Polish map or an Eastern European map, because I really think that the people who make Polish and just kind of generally Eastern European maps put the most insane detail work into them. They're not maybe as popular as the UK maps among my viewers and, you know, the community of UK and Ireland guys, but for me, these are some of the best maps, because the skill and abilities of the map makers is truly insane. And like, even some of the assets that are used are beautiful. Like the sheds over there, and even this stack of bales. It's a map that feels like somebody's living here. Feels lived in. It feels realistic. And how to make the map feel alive? Yeah, like I'm gonna generalize all maps here. So If you like a certain type of map, please don't be offended by what I say. German maps tend to be very clean, overly clean, where everything's very clinical and perfectly arranged, and like everything has its spot, and there's not much clutter. UK and Ireland maps tend to be tight, like they tend to be clean but not clinical. There's some clutter, as mainly UK maps here. There's some clutter, but it's not. Yeah, it's sometimes enough to make the map feel alive. Sometimes it's not, and there's very little dirt anywhere. Polish and Eastern European maps, and some Irish maps, and some UK maps. I will grant that some UK maps, there will be exceptions to all of these. Eastern European maps tend to feel like somebody's just moved out yesterday and, hey, welcome to the area, this is your farm, get going. I know everything's rusty and broken, but hey, deal with it, this is your farm now. And it kind of feels like there's a story being told in the map. And American maps... This is probably the generalization that's going to get the most heat. American maps, by and large, are giant, flat with square fields. Like, there are exceptions to those rules. I know of plenty of American maps, or at least a few American maps, that feel alive, that have a lot of detail work put in, that aren't flat, that have a lot of cool landscaping. But I'm just generalizing for the sake of saying, hey, there's kind of... It's kind of weird that most maps from this area, or depicting this area, have these features. And Polish maps always have just kind of almost a layer of grime, to an extent. Is that seen stocks like that IRL? Yeah. Like, there's a layer of grime in Polish maps that I really enjoy. Where, like, it doesn't feel like it's been tidied up and cleaned up just for your appearance in the map. It's just like, this is how it is, just deal with it. And it kind of feels like a real farm, and there's a kind of a veneer of filth that I really enjoy, and kind of a rundown aspect to it. UK maps kind of feel like they've been tidied up a bit at times. German maps feel like somebody went through the entire yard with a tiny vacuum cleaner, making sure every speck of dust is gone. And American maps feel like somebody went over the entire area with a steamroller to make sure it was perfectly smooth for you. Irish maps tend to be like a weird mix of UK style and Polish style at times, which is kind of disturbing. Like, if you swap from one Irish map to another and suddenly it's a completely different... Because it's usually from different map makers. Different map makers all have different styles, so... I am very much generalizing when I talk about like Polish maps and German maps and UK maps. Like, every map maker has their own unique style, and it's kind of cool to compare and contrast different map maker styles. Also, I've been spamming the snot out of Oxy maps lately, so I felt it'd be nice to play somebody else's maps. Fake messy, where it's just like everything's a mess, but there's no logic to it. Like, I feel like Lancey's particularly good. Lancey Boy is particularly good at making the lived-in messy map, where like everything's filthy, but it makes sense that it's filthy because it's supposed to be a rundown yard. Like the fake messy where everything's just covered in mud for no apparent reason and everything's rusted. And there's no clear logic behind it because just everything is horrible. It's like, I see what you're going for, but what you've done is you've actually tried too hard to get there. If you dial it back a couple of notches, you would have been a lot better. Or the maps where like an entire yard is just full of clutter for no apparent reason. I don't like that. I like maps where like there's some clutter, but it's clutter that kind of makes sense. I know that you're not always going to get perfect clutter for your map, so as long as it mostly makes sense, I'm fine with it. There we go, that's this field done. And that is going to do it for today. Did actually stream a bit longer than kind of planned, but that's fine. Hit overcluttered maps. Yeah, there's a level that you gotta hit, and sometimes people just need to go over the top to learn what that level is to an extent. Because it is difficult to figure out the 73,000 different balances you gotta hit with map making. So when somebody manages to get it right first or second time, it's kind of impressive. But that is... I thought this looked identical to the cultivator, because it is. Just regarded as being different for reasons of screw you, that's why. That is going to do it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be back tomorrow with some Shamrock Valley. If you want more of this map, wait until Thursday and hit like buttons and stuff. Because I'm really, actually, quite a fan of this map. I'd like to do more of it. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.